It was a career-defining moment for Linda Blair when she was offered a part in the Exorcist movie. But unbeknown to her, while the movie will save her career, it will end up turning her personal life upside down. In this video, we share the untold stories of Linda Blair's tragic life after her iconic Exorcist role. Without further delay, let's get started. Linda Blair was a girl with big dreams who found herself in the spotlight at the tender age of 5. From there, with a burning desire to express herself on the big stage, she took on regular roles on soaps like Hidden Faces and small parts in movies like The Sporting Club. And just when Linda was at a crossroads, an incredible opportunity came knocking at her door. She was offered the leading role in the iconic film, The Exorcist. Saying no to such a chance seemed impossible. So, she took the leap and embraced the role wholeheartedly. The moment Linda said yes, film director Friedkin knew he had found the perfect actress for the part. Among thousands of other hopefuls, Linda stood out as the ideal choice to portray Regan, a character that would forever be etched in cinematic history. Initially, being part of a movie sounded like a great opportunity, but little did any of the actors know what they were getting themselves into. Back in the groovy 1970s, when movies were made, special effects weren't as advanced as they are now. This meant that actors had to take on challenging roles that put them at risk of injury or even getting sick. One person who went through a lot during the filming of The Exorcist was Linda. It was a truly upsetting experience for her. In one scene, she was carelessly strapped to a bed, which resulted in a fractured lower spine. To make matters worse, this painful moment made it into the final cut of the film. So, when you see her crying and screaming on screen, it's not just great acting, it's her real cries for help that went unanswered while the cameras rolled. But that's not even the worst part. The director, William Friedkin, was determined to make the movie as authentic as possible. This meant filming in freezing temperatures to capture the actor's breath on camera. Poor Linda, who spent most of her time in just a nightgown, was practically freezing throughout the entire shoot. The set of The Exorcist was also filled with shocking and unpleasant situations. Friedkin had a knack for creating intense and terrifying moments on set. Sometimes, he would fire a gun just before filming a scene to genuinely scare everyone. He even went as far as physically attacking people, like slapping a real priest, in the hopes of capturing a genuine emotional reaction on screen. This would be tough for anyone, but imagine being a young teenage girl like Linda. One of the most grueling aspects of making The Exorcist was the extensive makeup sessions endured by the talented actress, Linda Blair. Spending a minimum of 2 hours in the makeup chair every day, and sometimes enduring sessions lasting up to 5 hours, Blair had to go through a truly arduous process. In a shocking revelation during an interview with Studio 10, Blair disclosed that the glue used to hold the prosthetics together actually burned her face. But perhaps the most bizarre twist in The Exorcist's production saga was the set being consumed by an electrical fire, triggered by a pigeon that flew into the lightbox during the filming of the infamous exorcism scene. The fire led to a 6-week break while the set was rebuilt. Director William Friedkin even admitted that this strange incident made him wonder if the film was actually cursed. Well, whether The Exorcist was genuinely cursed remains a mystery, but the unsettling events during its production are hard to ignore. The fire wasn't the only tragedy. The film saw the unexpected deaths of key cast members. Jack McGowan, who portrayed Burke Dennings, passed away from influenza, and Vasiliki Maliaros, the actress playing Father Karras's mother, also died before the film's release. The creepy part? Both of their characters meet grim fates in The Exorcist. But the horror didn't stop there. Other members of the cast and crew also suffered personal losses during the making of the film. Linda Blair herself lost her beloved grandfather, adding to the already scary atmosphere surrounding The Exorcist. In total, 9 people associated with the film lost their lives during its production. It's hard not to wonder if there was something truly evil at work. Despite surviving the difficult working conditions created by Friedkin's unconventional methods, Linda Blair faced new challenges after the movie's release. After the movie's big premiere, reporters went absolutely crazy with all their invasive speculation about Blair's mental health. They couldn't help but wonder if she had gone through a real-life mental breakdown because of the film's disturbing scenes. But that's not even the worst part. What happened next was beyond disturbing. Unhinged zealots, completely losing touch with reality, started bombarding poor 14-year-old Blair with death threats and hate mail. They even accused her of glorifying Satan through her role in the film. But was she not just doing her job, playing a character in a movie? Well, the level of hate and ignorance was beyond belief. Looking back on her experience, Blair described it as the most awful thing you could imagine. The pressure, the scrutiny, and the constant demand for answers about faith and Catholicism took a toll on her young shoulders. It's safe to say that all this emotional distress was far from what she had signed up for. Imagine being just a teenager and having your life threatened. That's exactly what happened to Linda Blair. Not only did she have to deal with intense audience reactions like fainting and vomiting, but she also became the target of controversy and misplaced anger. But she wasn't alone in this battle. She had a team of protectors by her side, including police officers who were hired to live at her house. But the threats didn't stop there. People would follow Blair down the street, heckling her about her role in the film. It was a nightmare for a young girl who was simply pursuing her acting dreams. And just when you thought things couldn't get any stranger, a surprising love story blossomed. At the tender age of 15, Linda Blair found herself dating none other than Australian singer Rick Springfield. He was 25 years old at the time, and they met during a concert at the famous Whiskey A Go-Go. It seemed like a breath of fresh air for Blair after all the darkness she had endured. Then, in 1977, Linda was reprising her role as Regan in the sequel, Exorcist II: The Heretic. It was supposed to be a new chapter in her life, one filled with love and happiness, with Rick in the picture. But fate had other plans. First, her parents got a divorce. Then, her own relationship ended, leaving her heartbroken and alone. She fell into a deep depression and turned to alcohol to numb the pain. And all of this was happening while she was filming the movie that would ultimately bomb at the box office. But the worst was yet to come. Later that same year, 3 of her friends from the band Lynyrd Skynyrd died in a plane crash. Linda was devastated. She was on her way to their funeral when she made a decision that would change her life forever. An acquaintance convinced her to go with her to buy cocaine. Linda was interested in buying pedigree puppies, which the dealers were selling, so she agreed to go along. She even placed a hold on one of the puppies and returned home to Connecticut. But things went south when the Drug Enforcement Agency started tapping the phones of the dealers. Linda kept in touch with them, supposedly to buy the puppy, but they successfully pressured her into buying cocaine along with the dog. The DEA arrested Linda and 30-plus others for conspiracy to buy cocaine from Florida to sell in Connecticut. They searched her purse and found amphetamines, which led to a possession charge. Thankfully, the possession charge was dropped and the conspiracy charge was reduced. Linda was ordered to serve 3 years probation, pay a $5,000 fine, and make at least 12 major public appearances to tell young people about the dangers of drug abuse. Fast forward to 1979, Linda Blair's career took a spicy turn when she landed the lead role in the musical drama Roller Boogie. This was a significant moment for her as it established her as a sex symbol in the entertainment industry. However, while filming, Blair took a lot of risks and did most of her own skating, which eventually led to her developing bursitis in her hip. Despite the injury, she didn't give up and continued to pursue her passion. The following year, Blair co-starred with Dirk Benedict in Ruckus, where she played a young woman who helped a Vietnam veteran evade antagonistic locals in a small town. This role showcased her versatility as an actress and proved that she was more than just a pretty face. Throughout much of the 1980s, Blair starred in a series of financially successful low-budget horror and exploitation films. These movies were a deliberate attempt to break free from the victim role she had played in the Exorcist film back in 1973. Blair's performances were raw, intense, and often left audiences on the edge of their seats. But was it enough? Tired of being seen as a helpless victim, she yearned to prove to the world that she was a grown woman capable of taking on adult roles. And so, with determination in her eyes, Linda set out on a path that would forever alter her career. In a captivating episode of Intimate Portrait, it was revealed that Linda Blair had a burning desire to shed her old skin and embrace a new persona. No longer content with being typecast, she sought to showcase her versatility and talent in a way that would leave audiences in awe. And what better way to do so than by bearing it all? In a bold move, Linda decided to participate in a series of daring nude photo shoots for the renowned Oui magazine. The October 1982 issue would forever be etched in history as the turning point in Linda's career. She bravely exposed herself, both physically and emotionally, unveiling a side of her that shocked many. Little did Linda know that these provocative photos would have unforeseen consequences. Instead of propelling her into the realm of big Hollywood productions, they inadvertently led her down a different path. Linda found herself cast in exploitation films and B-movies for the majority of her career. Despite her relentless efforts to break free from the chains of her horror movie past, Linda Blair struggled to escape its lingering impact. The world seemed unwilling to let go of the image that had catapulted her to fame. It was as if she was forever haunted by her role in The Exorcist, forever typecast as the innocent girl possessed by evil forces. That same year, in an interview, Linda Blair confessed her fascination with the legendary musician Rick James. Little did she know that this confession would set the stage for a whirlwind romance that would capture the hearts of many. Their love burned bright, igniting a flame that would last for 2 unforgettable years. But alas, all good things must come to an end, and Linda made the difficult decision to break off the relationship. Heartbroken and devastated, James poured his emotions into his music. The result? The iconic hit song, Cold-Blooded, a raw and honest expression of his pain and longing for Linda. Not only did he immortalize their love through music, but he also shared their story in his book, Glow. In his autobiography, James painted a vivid picture of their time together. He described Linda as an incredible woman, a free spirit with a beautiful mind, and a body that left him breathless. Together, they embraced their rebellious spirits and fearlessly posed topless for a photograph that made waves everywhere. Society's judgment meant nothing to them. They were living life on their own terms. However, buried within the pages of James' revelation was a shocking revelation of his own. It turns out that Linda had kept a secret from him. She had become pregnant with his child, but without his knowledge, she made the difficult decision to have an abortion. James was left reeling from this revelation, feeling betrayed and hurt. "I call that cold-blooded," he said. But what led Linda to break off the relationship in the first place? Was it the lingering scars from her iconic role in The Exorcist back in 1973? Surprisingly, that was far from the truth. When asked about her decision, Linda precisely shared that it was James' lifestyle and drug habits that became too much for her to bear. The constant chaos and unhealthy environment took its toll on both of them. In the end, she chose to prioritize her well-being and walk away. After numerous failed attempts in various endeavors, it seemed like nothing was working out for Linda. Frustrated and disheartened, she made a life-changing decision. She decided to go back to what she was truly passionate about before her demonic possession days: helping animals. And so, the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation was born. This incredible nonprofit organization is dedicated to rescuing and rehabilitating abused and neglected animals. Linda's love for animals knows no bounds, and she has made it her mission to give these voiceless creatures a second chance at life. Despite her activism and advocacy for animal rights, the role she played in the movie still haunts her even after 50 years. For more such videos about beautiful actresses of yesteryear, watch the videos on the end screen.